Hello, I am going to talk to you today about how to transfer your contour line drawing onto your black paper for your colored pencil drawing. So once you get to the point where you have your contour line drawing done, you do not have to erase your grid on this one because we're only going to just trace what you actually need. So on the back of your drawing, you are going to take a piece of chalk and you're going to chalk the whole drawing area. You don't want to put a crazy amount of chalk on this, but at the same time you need enough to totally cover the surface. It's easiest if you lay the chalk sideways and you just rub over the entire thing. If you put too much, it's going to make a huge mess. If you don't put enough, you won't be able to see your drawing when it comes out. So something like this will suffice, and then you're going to take a dry paper towel and rub over the back. This is going to do two things. Number one, it will take off any extra chalk that you have so you don't have too much, but it's also going to move the chalk into any uncovered areas of your paper. If you feel like you don't have quite enough, you can go back over it, but again, it doesn't have to be super duper solid on your paper. I'll show you live in person how much chalk you should have. Then you take your black paper. Here is where you will add a border onto your paper if you would like. So instead of just making your paper the size of your drawing or your artwork, you can go ahead and add a 1-inch border or a 1/2 inch, however big you want it to be, border to your black paper, and then center your white paper on top of your black paper so that it's pretty even, and then you're simply going to tape it down so that it doesn't move and trace your drawing. So if you notice, I put chalk on the back of my drawing, and now I have the front of my drawing flipped up, and I'm just going to trace over it. I'm going to trace it in colored pencil. Doesn't really matter what colored pencil you use. The only reason I'm tracing it in colored pencil is so that I can see what I have already done. I am putting a medium amount of pressure down. You don't have to push super hard. What's happening though is the chalk on the back of this drawing is being pushed down onto your black paper, and it's transferring onto that paper. So basically what I'm going to end up with is a chalk outline of my drawing once I am finished. Obviously, you will not trace the grid for this part. Whatever you trace will transfer over. Whatever you don't trace won't transfer. So if you have any mistakes anywhere, or obviously you don't want your grid to be on there, so you just don't trace that part and it won't show up on your black paper. All right, so once you get all your lines traced, you remove the tape and pull up your drawing, and voila, you have a chalk outline of your design. On this chalk outline, you can see that if I rub over it, it will lighten up. So what I recommend doing is coming back in with a color that is similar to whatever section you're drawing, and very, 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 very lightly just outline whatever subject you want to keep there so that you don't accidentally erase your drawing before you get to the coloring portion of this project. Trying to do this quickly. Again, I'm not pushing down. My goal is going to be no outlines, just like in your value drawings. So as you are coloring these, as you're shading them, you want to strive for no big heavy outlines on anything, and we just want the edge of your drawing. So once you get your colored portion traced out so that your design is sure to stay, your first stage in this colored pencil drawing is going to be to do or complete a reverse value drawing. So what that means is you will shade a white version of your drawing, of your design, so that once we put the colored pencil on top of these, they will stand out for us as we're going. So with your reference picture, it's going to be basically reverse what you did for your value drawing. So anywhere there is a bright area on your drawing, you're going to put a lot or a heavy layer of white pencil down. The best way to think about this, if you come up with a finished reverse value start for these that looks three-dimensional, your overall drawing and your design is going to be three-dimensional as well. So in this leaf that I'm shading, I'm focusing on the areas that are brighter, and I'm putting more pencil down onto my paper. It's the same technique as when you were shading. You want to keep your pencil lines nice and close together so all of this blends and fades really nicely. I'm pushing with less pressure and not putting very many layers in the areas that I want to go a little bit darker. And the areas that I want to go brighter, I'm pushing harder with my white. This paper has a lot of what's called tooth. That means texture to it. And it's made specifically for colored pencil so that it pulls the colored pencil very nicely off of your picture. Any area that is really dark, like this part of my drawing or my reference picture, I'm actually just not going to put any pencil onto. I'm going to leave the black of the paper showing through or fully showing, because then whenever I layer my colored pencil on top of it, it's going to act kind of as a color mixer whenever I go through this. So again, any areas that I want to be bright, I'm layering a fairly heavy set of white down on top of it. Any areas that I want to be darker, I'm using less white with it. If you are drawing fur or hair, you're going to do this same thing, but instead of your drawing being smooth, you're going to actually add the texture and the fur of whatever animal you are making. For example, if you're going to do a lion or a tiger or a cheetah or something that has short hair, you're going to do your reverse value drawing with your pencil, and you're going to layer it up by making short little strokes for your fur. If you're doing a golden retriever or something with longer flowy hair, basically every pencil line that you make will be fur. The closer together your lines are, the brighter your value is going to be. The farther apart they are, the darker your value is going to be. So if you need areas that are pretty dark, don't put anything down, and you can just use your colors to create the values and the tones that you see. If you need areas that are a little bit lighter, put a little bit of white pencil down, and really bright areas get a lot of pencil. I'm just kind of making this up here, so there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing, but I wanted to show you the difference in short little pencil lines and what a difference direction makes in your drawing. So however long your fur is should be how long your pencil lines are, and whatever direction your fur or hair or texture is going in you want to go in that same direction as well. So longer hair will have longer pencil lines, shorter hair or fur will have shorter pencil lines, and make sure that you're following whatever direction anything goes in, and you can get a really nice start to any type of drawing this way. So your end result or your end game, you want to have something that looks very similar to this, and you'll have, it should almost look like a finished black and white drawing, just reverse of your value drawing. You'll have more pencil in your lighter areas and less pencil in the dark areas. After this, I will show you how to add color on top of this and how to blend and use colored pencil to shade and create a realistic looking colored pencil drawing.